You are now listening to the smooth sounds of Love Atiya. Ciao, beautiful souls. My name's Atiya, and I am your future bestie in your head. I am a sex-positive animal activist. I grew up in Queens, New York, and was homeschooled/unschooled for about 12 years. I was a virgin until I was 24 and attempted to have a hoe phase for 2 years, which eventually led me to being accidentally/intentionally celibate. And here we are today. My past left me with a lot of wild stories, a lot of lessons, and a hell of a lot of trauma. Thank God for my wicked sense of humor, because God only knows I would have perished by now. With that being said, this is your gentle reminder that the Love Atiya experience was created as a safe space for me to reflect and share the lessons that I've learned from past traumas. Shit gets real on this podcast, and topics such as domestic violence, sexual assault, substance abuse, depression, anxiety, and suicide may be referenced. If you are working through feeling triggered by certain topics, this may not be the show for you right now, and that's okay. Healing takes time and isn't linear. I'll be here when you're ready. Now, without further ado, the Love Atiya experience is an experience. So get ready for laughs, crazy story times, and life-changing pleasure tips here on the Love Atiya Experience podcast.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. I am a bad bitch, yo. What the fuck is up? Hello, you love bugs. Today is a very special episode. It's gonna be real quick, 24 minutes maybe. And it's really just based on one topic that I just wanna express. But I just want to give y'all a quick catch up before I dive into the episode, because we just have such short amount of time, right? All right. So first things first, I did my first shroom trip. My mom treated me to a shroom ceremony, for my birthday as one of my 30th birthday presents. And it was so life-changing. It was so life-changing. I'm not even going to talk about it on here. I'm not going to talk about it on YouTube. You got to join me on Patreon to learn a little bit about it. Or else just be in my close circle, because some of the downloads and shit that I got are just I don't even know. I'm just so grateful for them. And I feel really, really I don't even want to say a new version of myself. I feel like the truest version of myself right now. And it makes me understand why life was so exhausting before, because I wasn't being myself. So it was I was being the socially acceptable version of myself. I was being the tolerable version of myself, as opposed to being the wild, absolutely amazing, fucking free, super liberated, unapologetic, super confident version of me. And it reminds me of how I used to be when I was 5 years old and just so fucking unfazed from the world. I really wish a motherfucker would. So yes, I just want to say, not even trying to be funny, if you have any severe mental health issues or mild mental health issues, I can definitely see how people can take shrooms and not be healed because they're not doing the work that needs to be done with the shrooms, you know what I'm saying? But I think for the people that really want to go on a journey and really want to dive deep into their healing, I 10 out of 10 recommend doing a facilitated mushroom ceremony, as opposed to the recreational, I just popped some shrooms and went on the beach and did cartwheels. That's beautiful too, but if you're looking for an experience where you're going to do shadow work and shit, then definitely I recommend having a guide with you through that. Now, that's my thing about shrooms. I think everybody should do them. I am a very major proponent of them. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I don't really give a fuck. So yeah, let's just dive into what this episode is about. As you can tell from my title, it says, I hate you hetero hoes. And do I really hate you hetero hoes? No. Hate is such a strong word. But am I a little flabbergasted? Yes, a little. Now, I just want to take it back a little bit, because I don't know if I was ever a hetero hoe, and please know when I'm saying this, I'm really using the word hoe very loosely, but I don't think that I ever really identified as being heterosexual. On one of the last episodes, I think with Aurelian and Jess, I accidentally called myself cis hetero woman. I almost took my tonsils out and threw them on the floor, because that's not what I am. But I have always identified as being bisexual. And now that doesn't even feel right. If somebody was to ask me what I am today, I would definitely say I'm me-sexual. I turn myself on. It takes a lot for other people, whether it's man or woman. I don't even know. And I know that I'm very much so deeply more attracted to women. I think that I do have some heteroconformity, which means like I have heterosexuality in me, or an attraction to the opposite sex, because of the way that society has basically like groomed me to like the opposite sex. And it's so funny because my mom does so much work to like help me feel more comfortable tapping into like my lesbian era, you know what I'm saying? Like she'd be like, Atiya, that girl's literally looking at you, like, and I'm like, I know, I'm nervous. And she's like, Atiya, look at her. And I'm like, and so I will say though, I got really spoiled when I moved to Mexico, because at least 80% of my friends here are queer and lesbian at that. So I think that is really like a spoiler, because I just got so used to hearing like lesbian stories and about lesbian love and lesbian this, lesbian that. Now let me just also clarify that like the reason why I don't want to be in like any real label or under any real label is that like everybody has issues, right? Everybody has a stereotype, and a lot of them are true. And you know, like as like lesbians make fun of lesbian stereotypes, and like gay men will make fun of gay men stereotypes, and heterosexual people, I don't know, they sometimes it's a little bit like they don't really joke that much. I mean, I don't know, like they be taking some of stuff personal, but the heterosexual people that can joke about it do. It's so interesting because it's like heterosexual people usually joke about like being ghosted, being delusional, fiending over somebody they're not supposed to fiend over. And then lesbians will joke about like literally falling in love day 1, moving in day 2, having kids day 3, and getting married on day 3 as well. And then gay men, I guess whatever y'all's inside jokes are is what you got. But yeah, it's very interesting to just observe. So I say all this to say, like, I'm really focusing on decentering men in my life, and that terminology actually comes from a really close best girlfriend that I have here. That I like. She's a newer friendship, but I just feel so deeply connected to her, and she introduced me to like the aspect of decentering men, which I love. Like, society has literally set up this path for people who identify as women to cater to and center men in our world, and we're supposed to kind of build our lives around them. And it's like, no, we're actually the center of the world, and they should be kissing our toes. But what's so interesting still now is having friends who are heterosexual and like tell me about their heterosexual experiences. And one part of it that's frustrating is like, I'm really pessimistic, right? So I'm like, I know this is gonna end. So like, I don't even want to get excited about it. Like, cause I feel that way about my heterosexual or my opposite gendered situations that I'm in. Like, I will be so excited about this dumbass man, and then like, you get this build up, and your friends are excited, and you're excited, and you're sharing stories, and then he does something fucking idiotic, and then he's blocked, he's deleted, he's unfollowed, and it's like, what was the point of all of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just saw this post, and it said, you know, when you start decentering men from your life, you'll see that you and your friends actually really don't have that much to talk about, or you just have to find new things to talk about. So I'm grateful to have friendships where we're not so focused on relationships and all of this stuff, that we have so many other things we can talk about, like our dreams and our diets and our body and our health and the weather and nature and saving the world. Like, all of that is really refreshing. But everything has like a pro and a con, right? And like everything has a flip side, because like sometimes when you listen to lesbian stories, and you get like the lesbian tea, that's cool, but sometimes it's so dramatic. Like, it's so melodramatic. It's always so dramatic. It's like, please tell me I'm lying. And when you listen to the heterosexual tea, like I said, I use this to be like, this Negro's lying, or like, you believe that? Or like, I don't know, like my friend the other day, she was showing me this voice note from this guy, and she was like, oh, like, listen to his voice. I was like, he sounds like a regular man. Like, I'm not getting turned on by this. Like, I'm not enthusiastic that he speaks. I don't like when men speak, so I don't really want to hear them speak. Like, it's just, that was really interesting for me. And then I'm trying to think, like, even back in the day when I lived in the States and I had friends who were in relationships, like, one of my friends was married, the other one was living with her partner. And even then, like, I mean, it was just certain things. Like, I remember my friend who was married was literally trying to choose between coming to see me and then going to visit her boyfriend who she had like been with all summer, from my knowledge. And I was so highly offended, but it's like, that's what happens when you're in a hetero relationship. Like, I really don't know a lot of people in hetero relationships that are able to balance friendship and mendom. So there's always just that feeling of like, oh, your partner's always going to be above your friends, even though your friends are there for you when your partner ain't shit. So that was like an interesting observation for me, honestly. I have to talk to her about that, because I feel like I kind of like fell back after that, and I never really acknowledged why I fell back. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I feel like people deserve to know like why I no longer am in their lives. And then sometimes after I have explained something to somebody but too many times, and like if the person has disrespected me but too many times, I'm not going to keep explaining why I'm cutting you off. You're just not going to be in my life anymore. And just do the self-work, and you'll discover exactly why you're no longer in my life. I've literally had people who have like, we've taken breaks from talking to each other, and they'll come back and be like, oh, like I had some epiphanies, like I'd like to share them. And I'm thinking like, oh, like they're ready to take accountability and like take, you know, like we can equally take let's take responsibility, and let's like, oh, this is gonna be like an enlightened thing. And then it's like blame, lack of accountability. And it's like, I can't have friendships that go on like this. So it's really interesting to me. But with that being said, like my other friend that was in a heterosexual relationship, I just couldn't get with him. Like I just couldn't get with that. Like I just always feel like my friends' partners are not good enough for them. Like I always feel like my friends deserve better. And I guess maybe, honestly, now that I think about it, like my friends just deserve like the purest bit of self-love. I think that's what it is. I just want my friends to love themselves so much and so deeply. So it's hard for me to like be like a bystander. Now, hear me out. I just fucked with a guy in April. So I have my own fucking sexual healing journey to go on when it comes to my sexuality. But during this break, once again, like when I do my celibacy, sometimes people date during celibacy. I'm not even dating. Like, one thing that I will say is a lot of my friends will bring up like, oh, this guy has money. Oh, this guy has money. I don't give a fuck if he's a millionaire. He's a man. I think that I might get that fucking tattooed on my shoulder. Like, I don't give a fuck if he's a millionaire. He's a man still. So that doesn't impress me. Like, a lot of my friends can be impressed by money and by fancy stuff and by showmanshipness, you know? And it's nice. Like, they deserve it. They deserve the gifts. They deserve the fun. They deserve whatever goodness they get from that. They absolutely deserve it. Does that tickle my fancy? No. And I was the girl that used to be impressed when somebody wanted to pay $2 goddamn for me to get in the cab to come fuck them. So, you know, like, my standards were pretty low. But yeah, I'm grateful to be at the point where I don't care if you have money. I don't care if you have cars. I don't care what material possessions you have, if you own your house. Like, I'm just not impressed by that, because so many men are able to have that now. But you know what a lot of men don't have? Depth. You know what a lot of men don't have? Souls. You know what a lot of men don't have? A conscience. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I desire. And I was just telling my mom, like, I really miss cuddling and like just feeling safe with somebody, you know? And it's been very rare that I have felt that way, that I felt like genuinely safe to where I wasn't like in my head and stuff like that. The few times where I can think like, oh yeah, I really feel safe in this person's presence and don't have to like overcompensate or put on or question, is the guy that I had my first penetrated orgasm with. That was really cool because we were like friends, I guess. And then safe, like when I use the word safe, that eliminates a lot of people. I think that's kind of it. Oh, and I loved like my first lesbian partner. Like, I loved just being laid up with her. Like, that was so amazing. It was always a rush because she had a boyfriend. So like, she'd be rushing back to her boyfriend. So yeah, I guess I'm just at this point where I'm trying to navigate like what I desire. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I desire being around men? Do I desire being around women? Do I desire just being around myself? And I think that's the key. Like, I really desire just being around myself and being in love with myself and getting to know who I am, because the more full that I can make myself now, the better. And then when I meet my person, my people, whatever, when I have my situationship, like whatever, non-committal shit, doesn't matter. I want to feel comfortable and whole in that. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's okay. You're always going to be figuring stuff out in life. But I don't want it to feel like we're both playing parts. And in the last situation that I had with that guy, like, I felt like he was playing a role and I was showing up authentically as myself. But at the same time, like, I had to show up differently because of the role he was playing. It's so hard to explain it. Also, I'm multifaceted, so I can show up as multiple ways. But yeah, I just wanted to, like, express this. Like, I don't know if anybody else can relate. Like, if you're, like I said, I don't know really what I am anymore sexuality-wise. Like, I'm just me. I do love women. But if you are, like, on the more lesbian spectrum of really loving men, I'd love to know, like, how you get through listening to your friends talk about their guys. Because I remember I have this friend, she's a lesbian, and she, my other friend who's bi was telling a story about a guy, and like my lesbian friend was like, oh God, I don't want to hear about sucking dick and all this stuff. And it's like, I feel that, like, I really do, like, right now at this point in my life. But I want to be able to support my friends through their, like, sexcapades and stuff like that. And, like, you know, I'm pleasure positive, so I want to hear it all. But, like, I want to hear how you got pleasure. I don't give a fuck about how you gave him pleasure. I want to hear about you having your best experiences and knowing that you can provide those experiences with yourself. Like, not, oh, I found this guy who's able to give me the best sex. No, what have you done for yourself to be able to give yourself pleasure? And I realized that that's the angle that I want to come from for Ethereal X too. Like, people think that's my sex toy brand, and it's more than a sex toy brand. It's a sexual wellness company. And that's the thing. People think that either I'm really sex positive, like I'm all about sex, or I'm all about sex toys. And what I'm about is pleasure. Whatever brings you pleasure. If hands bring you pleasure, use your hands. Yo, I just did an OG hand getting off of the bob the other day, aka diddled my skittle with my hands, and it was amazing. But my goal for Ethereal X is to help you love yourself and to help you teach yourself what true pleasure is before you go exploring with anybody, whether it be a man or a woman. So that's what I'm really working on. I'm working on creating a pleasure university, like a pleasure hub where I can just have so many tips and tricks for people who are struggling in this area. I have so many DMs from people, and I keep telling y'all, go to my Patreon, please. I answer stuff on Patreon, but it's hard for me to keep up with my DMs. So yeah, you got to go to my Patreon to get the tips and advice that you want. But yeah, definitely check out Ethereal X. Sign up for my email list. I'm trying to reach my goal of, I'm not even gonna tell y'all what my goal is, but I'm trying to reach my goal on Ethereal X. You can sign up. You can get 15% off if you sign up. But my goal is to just help enhance pleasure within the world. I also want to enhance people's experiences. Well, I want to help people who have been through trauma and help them get reconnected with their pleasure again. I think that that's definitely one of my callings. Because it's like, I posted something the other day about one of my assaults, and I didn't want it to feel like, oh my God, she's always talking about the things that she's been through. But it's like, no, this is really important, and so many people were able to relate, and it went viral. And the way that so many people were like, oh my God, I went through this too. Like, oh my God, I can relate. I'm like, I think that that's one of my callings, y'all. Like, being able to teach people what consent actually is and what enthusiastic consent is, and how you can defend yourself and how you can detect a predator and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my goal. That's literally my goal with Ethereal X, and I'm trying to build an empire, okay? So if you are down to join the movement, because it's more than an orgasm, babe, it's a movement. If you're down to join the movement, then you can click the link somewhere in my description or head to my website, theloveatiya.com, and sign up for my email list. Like I said, I'm trying to get a boatload of sign up so that I can just keep sharing pleasure tips with y'all. Also, check out my previous pleasure tips. I've been sending out tips since February 2022, I think. So you can sign up for those too. Those are free. That's a different email list. That's going to be my pleasure positive email list. So you'll see like pleasure positive sign up. I have to figure out how you can, I think it's like theloveatiya.com/sign up. But yeah, I love it there too. But yeah, until then, I'm just trying to figure out how to navigate listening to my hetero friends' stories about men and not cringing. Because I'm just at this place where I'm like really angry at men. And I'm really working through a lot of shit right now when it comes to my own trauma, my own healing, my own shadow work, and men are the root cause of the majority of my misery and pain. So I'm trying to figure out how to overcome that so that I can help people, and help myself. But I'm doing what I can right now. Also, exciting news. If you come to Mexico, where I live in Mexico, I just relaunched my photography company, The Lens Goddess. So if you are looking for a photo shoot where you get a literal confidence boost, I will literally guarantee that I will compliment you at least 30 times. You get a confidence boost. You will get all of your pictures. I'm not like those sleazy photographers that only give you 5 edited pictures. No, baby, you get to see your beauty in raw. And what else do I do? We have so many beautiful nature options here. We have cenotes, we have beaches, we have jungles, we have forests, we have ruins. We have so many places that we can take pictures here in Mexico. So if you are here and want to book a shoot, reach out to me, let me know, and we will make it happen. I'm so excited. And yeah, I'm still banned on Instagram. I haven't been able to post in like a week and a half. So if you are interested in keeping up with the Joneses, aka keeping up with me, then like I said, check out my Patreon. That's where you will find all of my good, great shit. So yeah, like I said, don't forget, sign up for my email list. Love yourself, love animals, be kind to yourself. And that's my rant on you hetero hoes. Now love yourself. This is not to put shame on anybody. Do not feel shame for liking men. Even though I do still deal with a lot of that. I do deal with a lot of shame for my attraction because I feel like I don't know how natural it is, but we're figuring that out. We can go down a rabbit hole with this one. But if anybody can relate, please feel free to comment below and let me know so we can talk about this in my next full-length episode. I love you, I love you, I love you. Let me try to hit this note. Good morning. Good morning. It's from the Lorax. All right, I love y'all. I love you so well. Don't forget to be kind to yourself and to be kind to animals. Namaste.